So, you're a Clash Royale player. You may have 5,000-6,000 trophies, 7,000 trophies, maybe even 8,000 or 9,000 trophies, but you're just struggling to hit that 10,000 trophies that you've always desired of. Don't worry guys, I'm here to help you in today's video. I'm going to be explaining step by step how to get to 10k trophies. From what cards to upgrade, what cards to use, how to build a deck for yourself that fits your playstyle, and also the different types of decks and evos you should be using. Okay, cool. So the first thing I want to explain is the different type of playstyles / different types of decks. Now there's 6-7 playstyles, one of them doesn't really count, it's just using random cards, that's one of the playstyles, but I'm going to explain properly the other 6. Now the first one is a cycle deck. This deck normally includes like a Hog Rider or a Balloon or a Ram Rider, and all your other cards are low elixir. So for example, if you have a 2.6 Hog Cycle deck, average elixir spend for each card is 2.6, even though the Hog Rider is 4, so you're going to have other things that cost 1 elixir or 2 elixir in the deck, for example bats, Ice Spirit, things like that, you know, so you can spam the Hog Rider as you're going to be cycling to it as quick as possible, if that makes sense. Now the second type of deck, this is called a beatdown deck. Basically this is where you'd use a Golem or a Lava Hound and ignore the other push that they put down, because you'll have a better push with your card, if that makes any sense. You ignore their push, put down your push, and free crown them. Basically, that's normally how it works. Now the next type of deck we have is a bridge spam deck. This is cards like Dark Goblin, Ram Rider, you just spam at the bridge, you know, to try to get chip damage and then you eventually win on overtime. To be honest, not my favourite type of deck, but you know, if it works for you, it works for you. Next up, we've got the bait deck. This can be log bait, for example, where you have a firecracker, a dark goblin, and then a goblin barrel. So you bait their log with the firecracker, for example, and then you can send the goblin barrel and it will get damage on the tower. Next up, we got the siege deck. Now this includes mortar and expo. You're attacking their towers from your side of the arena, if that makes sense. Expo you place on your side and it can get damage on the tower. Expo, you normally use that with a Tesla to tank the damage, and maybe a knight to tank the damage as well, but you can use any tank card really. And finally, we have the control deck. This is where you use cheap defenses, you know, very profitable ways of getting elixir, and then using that advantage of elixir that you've gained to attack their side. So for example, if you put down a Valkyrie and they put down minion horde, that completely counters it, and now they've got a 1 elixir game with also the minions on the map. So yeah, those are the different deck types, but of course I'm similar with you guys where I like to just use the cards that I'm familiar with. For example, I love the Balloon card, I love the Dark Goblin, I love the Valkyrie. I don't like using decks that don't have these type of cards in, you know. These are good cards, but I don't like using decks that don't have them in. So find the cards that you do like, but please have an open mind. So if there's cards that aren't very good that you still like to use, please try swapping them out for something, you know. So if you've got bats, try swapping them out for minions, something like that, you know. Minions have been buffed recently, so minions are better than bats at the moment. But now another tip I have to give you is only have 1 win condition in your deck, maybe 2, but 1. What is a win condition? A win condition is a card that you can win by. So an Ice Spirit, you can't win by an Ice Spirit because it's only an Ice Spirit, but a Golem, you can win by a Golem. A Balloon, you can win by a Balloon. A Goblin Barrel, you can win by a Goblin Barrel. Hog Rider, you can win by a Hog Rider, if you know what I'm trying to say. Only have 1 of those in your deck. Okay, next tip. You want to go to Royal API. Then you want to press on decks at the top right here. And like I said before, pick the cards that you do like to use. Press here, include cards. For example, maybe I like the Goblin Gang. I'm going to press that. And you can also have cards that you don't want to put in there. It's whatever, you know, it don't really matter. It's just whatever you want to pick. And yeah, if you put it in, it will find decks for you that you can use, you know. So of course I've only put in the Goblin Gang, so there's going to be crazy different decks. But if you want to put 4 or 5 different cards that you like to use in there, you can find a good deck. I'm actually going to try this for myself right now. So for me, I like the Lumberjack, Arrows, Balloon, Valkyrie. And yeah, it's giving me some good decks here. You know, these are all decks that I could use if I wanted to. And yeah. Now the next step, one step I have to stress a lot, is join a clan. This can help with requesting cards. This can help with, you know, just getting advice from other people, being in clan wars, getting other free chests. And yeah, being in a community where you can grow and become a better player, but mainly for requesting cards. So if there's cards that you like, you can request them every day, and you can donate cards to get XP and coins. Some people aren't actually in clans. A lot of people are, to be honest, but it's just that extra step that you might just have put to the side, but it can actually help you a lot to get the cards that you need for your deck. It's also a good way to compete with people. For example, if you're 30th in the clan and you want to have a way to push yourself, if you've got someone that you talk to a lot is on more trophies than you, it can motivate you to become a better player, you know? Now, assuming you're a new-ish player, you're going to want to get at least 1 evolution in your deck. 2 would be better than 1, but 1 at the minimum, at the bare minimum, you know? Take it you have unlocked both your evolution slots, but you do want to get the right evolution. So if you get shards, I recommend keeping hold of them until you have 6, and then you can pick the one you want to get. Don't just put shards on that you already have, because you might want to change your mind midway through, if that makes any sense. Some good evolutions I'd like to give you is Evo Lumberjack. This is the one I personally use in my deck because it is crazy good. When it dies, it still attacks. It's one of the 2 cards in the game that still attack when they die. Next up is the Skull Army, the second one that attacks when it dies, but if you actually split the Skull Army at the back, you can have invincible skeletons on one side of the map if the other side stays alive with the general. The Royal Ghost is really good at the moment. I've never used it personally, but a lot of the pros are saying it's good to use at the moment. Baby Dragon is also a good one. It slows down the other person's troops, but it can also speed up your troops and does more damage. So the Baby Dragon is actually one I'm looking to get, but yeah, an evolution is very important for your deck, and can win you the game a lot of the time, because a lot of the time it's going to be an even game, but that evolution, they don't expect it because it's only every couple cycles, and then that's how you can win the game if you use it correctly. There's been a lot of the times I've been putting down a Lumberloon push, and then because I've got the Evo Lumberjack, it eventually does hit the tower even though they fully countered it, and it gets me 1,000 damage off their tower. Now we're going to get into the part when you're actually in a game. So when you're in a game, well, there's a lot of misconception here. Some people say wait for them to place first, don't leak elixir. It's very all over the place. Me personally, the way I play, I like to put things at the back that are cheap. For example, I have Bats and Ice Spirit in my main deck, and I just put those at the back, so I'm placing down, so I'm not leaking, but actually they are going to put the major card first. Then if it comes down to it, when neither of us have placed, I put my slowest card at the back, or the one I want to cycle for the evolution. So for example, I'd place the Lumberjack at the back so I can cycle it sooner, or I'd put the Valkyrie because it's a slow moving card, or the Ice Wizard because it's a slow moving card if you've got those in your deck. But put down slow cards right at the back, because you want to be fighting on your side of the arena, as then you're going to have assistance from your towers and you can use a counter push onto that, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, don't place your major card first. If you've got a golem or something like that, don't put that first, because then they're going to be able to counter push you very easily. And yeah man, cycle to the Evo as quickly as you can, and don't waste elixir on stupid things. Know when to place cards, know when not to place cards. That is the main thing in the game, really, you know. Also placing them in the right areas, that is a crucial step, because if you've got a Mega Knight coming at you, you want to place a card directly on it so it doesn't jump onto your card and cause more damage onto the card you've just placed down. If they've got a knight coming towards your tower, you want to place something far away so the knight still has to walk while it's getting shot by the tower, so you save a bit of health on the card that you do place down. Alright, so now I'm going to give you some good deck ideas for new players. My favourite thing to use is Lumberloon with the freeze. That's honestly my favourite type of game play style. You use the Lumberjack and the balloon. They normally take out the Lumberjack, then you got Rage Spell on the balloon, and then you can freeze the tower when the balloon gets onto the tower, so you basically get a free tower. It's my favourite type of play style. And yeah, the other type of play style I really do like to use is Hog Cycle. Hog Cycle, I believe it's really effective, you know, but it does take a bit more skill, as you're going to have to place things in the right areas when they do eventually counter push. For example, skeletons, Ice Spirit, stuff like that, because if you don't play it right, they can easily win the game. But if you're a good player, Hog Cycle is a really good deck to use. But yeah, that's about it man. Hopefully this helped some new players out there. Please do drop a like, it does help the video. I'm not gonna beg, but if you could drop a like, it does really help. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and peace.
Playing Clash Royale, clash of clans, then I get man down. Take that tower for the victory crown. 9,000 trophies now next to me now. Threaten the clan, then I'm a stepper. Strong on the streets just like a pecker. Lumberloon, I'm feeling clever. Clan is not what's that is forever. Your girl is a 4.